Algebra 1, 8.4, use scientific notation. So, scientific notation, a number is written in scientific notation when it is in the form c times 10 to the n, where 1 is less than or equal to c is less than 10, and n is an integer. Okay, so the number here has to be a single digit with a decimal after it. So 1.0, 1.1, 1.865. Okay, just one number that is not 0 in front of the decimal. So, a number is written in scientific notation when it is in the form c times 10 to the n, where 1 is less than or equal to c is less than 10, and 10 is an integer. So 16 million is 16 with 6 zeros. So we are moving the decimal place from here to right behind the 1, because we only want one number in front of the decimal place. So we're going to have 1.6 times 10 to the something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had to move our decimal place 7 times to the left, so our exponent is 7. Now 2 hundredths. Our decimal places are tenths, hundredths, so the 2 goes in the hundredths place. And we want to move it to here so that we only have one number. So 2 times 10, we had to move it twice to the right, so it's going to be a negative 2. Okay, if our number is a decimal, our exponent is going to be negative. If it's a really big number, it's going to be a positive exponent. So, example 1. Write 7,820,000 in scientific notation. So, we're going to want to move our decimal place to right behind the 7. It's right here right now. So, we are moving our decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places to the left. So our exponent is a positive 6. Okay, here we're going to want to move it to be right here. So it's 4.01 times 10 to the... Okay, we had to move our decimal place 3 to the right, which means our exponent is a negative 3. So negative 3 here. Okay. Example 2, we're going backwards now. We're starting with scientific notation and writing it in standard form. So, our exponent here is 9. So we are going to need to move our decimal point 9 places to the right. We're going backwards now. So, 3.89, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Each place I had to move where there's not a number, I have to put a 0. So I have 3, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. Now I'm going to put commas back in. So that's 3,890,000,000. Okay, now with this one, my exponent is negative 5, so I'm going to move my decimal 5 places to the left. So 9.09 9, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 0 point and 4 zeros, 9097. Okay. Now you have a checkpoint, so go ahead and pause the video and work on that. Okay, order 3.2 times 10 to the negative 4 and 0.0004 and 2.8 times 10 to the negative 5th from least to greatest. Step 1. Write each number in scientific notation. So, if I'm going to write this in scientific notation, I'm moving my decimal to here. So it's 4 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4 negative 4th. Order the numbers. First, order the numbers with different powers of 10. Then order the numbers with the same power of 10. So, we know that 10 to the negative 5th is less than 10 to the negative 4th, because that's how negatives work. A number that would seem bigger, if it's negative, is actually smaller. So you know that 2.8 times 10 to the negative 5th is less than both of my other numbers. So 3.2 times 10 to the negative 4th and 4 times 10 to the negative 4th. And because 3.2 is less than 4, we know that 3.2 times 10 to the negative 4th is less than 4 times 10 to the negative 4th. So, our smallest number is 2.8 times 10 to the negative 5th. And then our second number is 3.2 times 10 to the negative 4th. And our last number is 4 times 10 to the negative 4th. And now we write the original numbers. So, 2.8 times 10 to the negative 5 was 2.8 times 10 to the negative 5. 3.2 times 10 to the negative 4th was 3.2 times 10 to the negative 4th. But then 4 times 10 to the negative 4th was 0.0004. So that is how we write that. Go ahead and pause your video and complete this checkpoint. Okay. So, evaluate the expression. Write your answer in scientific notation. We have 5.6 times 10 to the negative 4th times 1.4 times 10 to the negative 5th. So, first of all, we can write that as our numbers that are decimals together and our numbers that are exponents together. So then we get 5.6 times 1.4, which is 7.84. And then we have 10 to the negative 4th times 10 to the negative 5th. So we add our exponents and we get 10 to the negative 9th. Now for this one, we have a product and we're raising it to a power. So we're going to distribute that out. So 3.2 to the third times 10 squared to the third. So 3.2 to the third is 32.768. And these we multiply our exponents, so we get 10 to the 6th. Now, we have two numbers in front of our decimal here, so we're going to have to change this. So we want to make it 3.2768. We had to move our decimal place once over. So this is times 10 to the first. And then we still have this 10 to the 6th over here. So we're writing 32.768 in scientific notation. Now, we keep our 3.2768, and we're going to try and combine these powers of 10. So then we get 3.2768 times 10 to the, we add our exponents, so we get 7. Now, 3.5 times 10 to the negative 3 all over 1.75 times 10 to the negative 5th. We can break this into two fractions. So we get 3.5 over 1.75 times 10 to the negative 3rd over 10 to the negative 5th. We divide our decimals here and we get 2. And then we subtract our exponents. So negative 3 minus a negative 5 is the same as negative 3 plus 5. So I get 10 squared. Go ahead and pause the video and complete those last two checkpoints.